Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Inman Insider webinar. I'm your host, technology columnist Craig Rao. It's great to have you all with us in what is going to be our last webinar of 2021. But don't fret, we got a lot more in store for you next year. And yes, we are staring 2022 straight in the face. And if you're looking to make some marketing updates for the coming year, you are in the right place because we have with us once again Agent Image, one of the industry's most prolific web design and digital marketing firms. And they have all kinds of fun stuff they're going to share with us, including an update on their super versatile presentation solution, Access. And here to talk about that is Brian Shorr of Agent Image. Brian, good to see you again. Welcome. And before we get started, I understand you guys are celebrating an anniversary of sorts.
Yeah, thanks for having me, first and foremost. Always a pleasure to see you, Craig. We are actually, we just celebrated our 22nd year anniversary. So we are in year number 23 at this point. Pretty wild. It's, we're very fortunate. I know that these past couple years especially, there's been a lot of things and a lot of obstacles to overcome, and we've been one of the fortunate companies to really kind of be able to weather the storm and not only weather it but grow during. So it's been a wild ride, and here we are in year 23 and thriving.
Yeah, 22 years is a big deal in this space, especially in digital marketing and website design, right? There wasn't a lot of people doing what you guys are doing back then.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We were there was a very small market, and it was a nice place to go fishing, right?
Yeah.
To put it in perspective, I want to say that Google is actually only a few months older than Agent Image.
Nice. Yeah, and that's the world. Yeah, that's the world I got started in commercial real estate, helping a big global company with its website design and its marketing efforts. So naturally, it's always good to kind of come back to this space and revisit it with people with your stature in the space too. So that said, what are we going to talk about? What do you want to show us?
Well, today, I know that we kind of started off talking about Agent Image, but one of the great things that we've been working on for, the past year plus has been a new presentation platform called Access.
Mm-hmm.
You and I want to say about a year ago, we did a webinar on kind of the preliminary, strokes that we had already kind of gotten to at that point. And really, that's what it is. What we look at, what we kind of recognized, and our why, if you will, was really kind of elevating agents when it comes to the ability to really kind of be able to present themselves as an agent as well as their listings, plain and simple. I think it's no secret that during the pandemic, there was a fast dash to try to figure out a lot of things digitally that you probably should have already had in order, right? But having said that, it's never too late, and you can always, get to the, website, get to the marketing aspects, whether it's via email or other lead generation items. But there was a mad dash during that pandemic, and people realized, wow, my online reputation, my online business, my online storefront, if you will, really needs to be the best representation to me because, gosh, at this point, that might be your initial handshake going forward, right? Yep. And not being able to necessarily be in person all the time really kind of presented the problem of, okay, if I can't be there all the time, how do I kind of be there digitally? So
right.
Hence why you saw things like presentations and the need for, virtual tours, stuff like that, really gain a lot of popularity, especially over the past couple of years. I mean, it was something that was already gaining steam before, 2020 hit. But really, once the once the pandemic really kind of showed its face, it really kind of hit the accelerator.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to mention that I think a lot of what went on in the last, I guess, 2 years, just about now, is that the industry agents specifically have to learn to demonstrate their value in new ways, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and instead of, we can't sit on couches or sit at dining room tables and present to potential customers anymore. And I think being able to leverage technology tools is part of that value. I think that represents to the market that an agent is prepared,
Mm-hmm.
technologically savvy, and ready to put my property into a market where the buyers expect that as well.
Right. And I think that's, you'll notice some of the tools is one of the goals we had was how can we at any given point make whoever is viewing the presentation feel like the agent is still there with them, whether it's their listing presentation or an open house, where
Right.
they have access to an audio file that can play while they're looking at the pictures, right? Where maybe the agent's describing the living room as they're looking pictures of the living room.
Right.
Or maybe it's, video of the agent actually walking the living room themselves and kind of with their phone turned around, as we're all well aware, have to get more and more comfortable in front of said camera. These different ways are how people are interacting more and more. And that's something that we really want to make sure we hang on to, is that when it comes to such an important decision in someone's life, like buying or selling a house, they need that human interaction still, right?
Mm-hmm.
That personalized touch to make them, feel that they are doing the right thing, instead of just clicking on a few things and having a robot say, this is the best match for you, right?
Right.
So, I mean, let me kind of get into a little bit here, because,
please.
I think that providing something that's, a visual here will really get the curiosity moving here. Let me see if I can do my best to share my screen without breaking the entire webinar.
Sure. And while you're doing that, I would just add that while a lot of agents could create a presentation deck using PowerPoint or something, and then share a screen and present that digitally, the issue there is that it's static and it doesn't give agents access to quick data or the ability to jump through a presentation and react to questions as dynamically as I think something like Access can do, based on the number of times I've seen it. So
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
That's very well said. Not only that, but the ability to brand it, right? So it actually has a little bit of personality behind it.
Sure.
Not just, as you kind of put it, I know we're not allowed to use the word PowerPoint, or else it kind of shows our age, right? But your slide deck, if you will, with nothing but pictures or stats or whatever it may be, has no life, has no energy, has no personality. And on top of that, it's just not quite as easy to share. Whereas something like we've put together here with Access is literally a link that can be viewed, shared via text, email, messenger on Facebook, whatever it may be. Yeah. So I'm going to start right here with, when you get a moment, go to access.com. You'll see a lot of relevant information about the product, a couple of videos, as well as, some items that, we've been talked about here in Inman, as well as Business Insider. We were featured in Forbes already. And it'll give you a lot of kind of intel on what it is and what we're doing with it, in addition to everything I'm going to cover today. So what you're looking at right here is actually the current iteration of the dashboard. Our ultimate goal is to gamify the back-end experience for the agent so that it's actually fun to use. Let's face it, no agent have I ever ran into said, man, I really love utilizing this or that technology on the back end. It's really great.
No. Yeah. Can you make this more like Excel?
Yeah, yeah, right. So, I mean, our when John, one of the owners here, John Crabb, and I were talking about this, like our vision was, I want it to feel like a video game when, you kind of go in and you have the menu options and you got things moving around and things drawing your eyes in. I want it to really kind of feel like almost like the, front end, if you will. I want the back
Hmm.
end to feel as good as the front end and be able to be user friendly. And just to kind of jump in here, eventually, we'll call it version 2.0. We kind of anticipate having certain things like the back here being customizable to the brand of the client, so they can drop in maybe logos or pictures, whatever it may be, to really kind of tailor it to yourself, or
Yeah.
whatever it may be. Maybe your favorite agent, like the Altman brothers or the Oppenheims, whatever it may be, right?
Sure.
But as you kind of go through here, you can see you have your different options for a digital listing presentation. If you want to put something together where you're wanting to earn the business of a client, earn their listing, this is where you would go, and you have your different templates to choose from. Same thing with digital open house, where you would go in, choose your template, and start creating from there. Now, Maxa is something that we're actually teaming up with an affiliate, maxadesigns.com, if you want to check them out. And we're looking to do this on a pretty regular basis. We want Access to be not only a presentation platform, but really kind of be a source of information and accessibility to companies like Maxa that provide, in their case, a lot of different digital marketing tools, like maybe business cards that they create, or Facebook posts, etc. These are the types of things. Maybe we're going to add a CRM down the road, or a group of CRM companies, whatever it may be. These are going to be opportunities so that it ends up being kind of a one-stop shop for all of your marketing needs that we've basically been able to vet through our relationships and through various due diligence.
This is
Go ahead.
yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but this has really evolved from when
Yes.
we last saw it.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Yeah.
So just to kind of show you, I can give you a quick little 1-2 here as far as showing, more or less the steps of what it
Sure.
looks like to get into the back end of one of these. Let me go back to my dashboard. This is kind of my, this is the beta version, if you will. So
Sure.
really what you would do is go in and choose your template. Let's just say find test, continue. And from here, you're literally just filling out information, right? Dropping things in, whether it's information on the property, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Video, if you want to drop in a link from either Vimeo or YouTube, drop it
Nice.
straight in here, and all of a sudden your uh, property video, or maybe you have a video of yourself. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, thanks for stopping by my open house. I hope you love it.
Yeah.
My contact information is at the end of this presentation. Feel free to reach out. So anything to that effect, to where you can really personalize it, each one of these, to your audience,
Like
right?
video testimonials, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Our ultimate goal, and we kind of see this probably in version 2 or version 3, is being able to upload directly from your phone onto the platform.
Hmm.
Obviously, with the amount of space that something like that takes, from a server standpoint, we got to make sure that we throttle into it. But that will be
Sure.
the ultimate goal, and I would definitely see that being an option by, I would say, mid-year in 2022. And in the
Okay.
same breath, you also have things like virtual tour that I mentioned earlier.
Okay. Nice.
Doing things like Matterport and the other virtual tour companies that are out there. You literally drop in a link, and it's almost as if it was meant to live here, right?
Yeah. Sure.
It's like you have these awesome virtual tours that have all these features, but when it lives with video,
Yep.
when it lives with the floor plans or video or even information on the client or even neighborhood information,
Yeah.
this is where it really kind of comes to life,
It
right?
has, yeah, those tours have more impact when they're contextually placed, right? As
Right.
opposed to just being a clumsy URL just sitting out there on a web page somewhere. And it helps, it accentuates the power of the presentation overall too when you just seamlessly have all this nice multimedia just in its place, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, dig
Absolutely.
it.
And again, maybe you're presenting high-end video that you've paid for, like you could do here, or maybe it's
Sure.
literally, or maybe it's literally video that you recorded on your phone and you uploaded it onto your YouTube and straight into your presentation. It really is kind of sky's the limit as far as what you can and can't put in here.
Yeah, nice.
One of the things that we're also working on is the interaction of kind of the map features and being able to draw in listings in the area. So obviously, whether you're doing a listing presentation or even an open house, you want to be
Mm-hmm.
able to show comps and have that drawn
Yep.
in automatically would be ideal. Currently, we have to do it manually, unfortunately, but we are working on it. That's something that we do see coming in the very probably first quarter of 2022 is actually having the interactive map be interacting with MLSs as well. So
Yeah.
kind of exciting and actually a little bit ahead of schedule. And some of the features like being able to share that I mentioned.
Yep.
The fact that you're able to share this, via text message or an email or Facebook or LinkedIn makes it so much easier to kind of get out there and kind of spread the word, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and the amazing thing about this from an agent's perspective is not necessarily just the where did it go? Hold on one second. I want to show you the back end here. Here we go.
Sure.
Is not only the front end of this, but yeah, what happens once you actually get in and start sending this to people? Where's it going? Who's looking at it? What kind of stats can we draw from it? How can
Yep.
I have a more effective presentation, right?
Yeah, you mark like these kind of analytics in any sort of marketing initiative. I want to encourage all of our viewers, the more data you have about the performance of your marketing, the better. Like if you're analyzing marketing tools, look for ways, or if you're doing due diligence on marketing tools, look for those that have analytics because a big part of marketing is finding out what doesn't work, right? And if you jump in and you
Absolutely.
say, whatever, this first slide on my deck or this first splash page on my presentation, I've done 10 of those. I'm not getting the listings. Maybe I change something up, those sort of things. So it's good to see you guys integrate that.
Absolutely. Interesting you say that because as you go through, let's say, for example, let's take the example of doing a listing presentation where you're trying to land the listing.
Sure.
You can see, how many times they're opening it, how many times or how long are they staying on it, which pages are they viewing the longest.
Nice.
You can really get an idea of, okay, after I've sent, 10, 15 of these, this page is obviously irrelevant. They're spending 1 second on it, moving on.
Yep.
Or, hey, I know a little bit more of what type of a conversation I'm going to have. They spend a lot of time looking at the kitchen and I have a lot of like pictures of the appliances or whatever. I have a feeling the next conversation we're going to have, there's going to be a lot of questions there,
Yeah.
right? It actually
Yep.
prepares you for your next call if you're utilizing the analytics properly. Um,
Totally.
and then jumping over to once you have the listing, that's what we're looking at here is the open house for 71, in this case, 71 Bleecker.
Okay.
First and foremost, you can kind of go through how many days, how far back do you want to go? Let's just, I guess, go 30 days or let's, say 7. hey, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, boom, here's your analytics. You can literally shoot it off to them in a matter of seconds, and it generates the report for the seller saying, hey, here's your listings, here's the property performance the past week. Let's talk later, whatever it may be. And they can actually see how many inquiries they're getting, where those inquiries are coming from, how much time is being spent. This is information that's just absolutely valuable, and it makes you look like a friggin' genius, a technical genius, if that, to your clients. And I mean, in the day and age that we're living in, if you're head and shoulders above the rest of your, the rest of the agents in your market, that's huge. If you have a technical advantage, that is a huge high ground in the day and age.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I've seen the power of the presentation tool is something I just wrote an article that'll be out soon about trends I saw this year, and being able to present and brand yourself is one of those. It's critical that, like I mentioned at the top of the call or the top of the webinar, that agents find a way to demonstrate their value, and these are the tools that can do it. And analytics like that, showing that can encourage the seller to make some sort of change, perhaps on the property, right? Maybe they need to stage a room differently, right?
Absolutely.
Or heck, adjust price, right? Which is that difficult conversation no one likes to have, especially in a market like this.
Right.
But hey, if the data is there, right?
Yep, absolutely. And it's great that you mentioned the branding. That this is actually a great example of being able to go through and really brand the design to the agent. So this is at the Eklund Gomes kind of style where they're utilizing kind of a navy blue and a salmon. That's what we've done here with this. This is actually the same property as this one, just different branded wrapper upon it. Nice. So you are able to brand it. And these are, these are the examples that we're looking to do in 2022, is really be able to create something that looks stunning, that's, tailored to your brand and has everything but the ability to smell or touch the property. That's the way I look at it. The more information that you can provide to your audience, the more, the more beneficial your conversations are going to be going forward with your, the folks that are either looking to buy or sell their home.
Yeah. Now, in this particular case, right, we have Eklund & Gomes. They're a very well-known brand in New York, and they have a lot of marketing resources. Is this something that, like, an agent in another part of the country that might be a little anxious about jumping into a software product like this, but is this something that, say, they could delegate to a team or a marketing administrator, that sort of thing?
Either or. I know that I have an agent out in Palm Springs who is insanely busy and has a marketing person on the team that handles this for her, that creates these, that we've already created a branded skin for her. And the marketing person creates them. Once you've created the first one, a lot of the elements you can just duplicate and carry over to your next. If it's a presentation, you can carry over to the next one. Maybe you just change out some of the videos. Maybe you're changing out some of the information of the property, whatever it may be. But this is something where you can really, once you get going, create it within, I don't know, I've created one in 15 minutes.
Nice.
It's something that you can really kind of get done in a very, very timely manner. Having said that, I have agents that have done it themselves and have provided great feedback as far as, this is great, but we really you guys need to, you're missing the mark on this or that. Which for us, that type of information that we are getting from our beta group is priceless. We actually really, really encourage our beta members to provide as much feedback as possible, because this is for them. The way we've always kind of talked about when we were building this is for the agent by the agent, right?
Yeah. I have to imagine, given where this thing has gone since we initially saw it, that the roadmap is, you probably guys have a pretty crowded whiteboard on things you'd like to do with this product, I imagine, right?
Oh man, it's interesting. So we literally wrapped up our 2022 strategy meeting yesterday, and I presented on Monday. I presented half of the kind of remaining services I expect to add, in the coming year, and that half of that was about a page long. So the kind of where we're going with this thing really is a marketing source for clients,
Okay.
for agents for that matter. And it's a standalone product too. So, just because you're not an agent image client from a website perspective, you can go in, create your account on Access, and away you go. It's not something where we're gonna, make you have a website through us. We are looking at ways to make it beneficial to have a website through Agent Image as well as, Access.
Sure.
But we want to make sure that this is available to all levels of agent. Whether you do, 50, 50 deals, transactions that aren't worth a lot, or you do 3, or you do, you're a major producer. No matter what, we really see this as being a solution from a marketing perspective for anybody and everybody who is a real estate professional. And I mean, ultimately, once we're able to start collecting a lot of these different relationships, like we've done with Maxa, really having more options, add-ons, if you will, for clients to go through and say, hey, here's something that I need. Maybe it's even like print media.
Yeah.
There's still a need for it. And if there's an option within Access for them to get to it, great. We want this to be kind of your resource for all things marketing going forward.
Because I've already dated myself talking about PowerPoint, when I was back in those days, if we just by animating some slides, or I was doing some Flash presentations, remember Macromedia Flash?
Oh yeah.
Just by creating some dynamic presentations, all the brokers I was working for at the time, they loved it and it stood out, and they would often talk about how that helped them get listings and all that sort of thing. And it's the same thing now. It's just all the technology is much better. It's a lot lighter and it's more flexible, and you can view it in all kinds of different user environments. But I would just, again, encourage people watching that these tools really help. They can set you apart from your competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that I mentioned it at the onset is access.com. We actually recently just made the announcement of the purchase of access.com, which
I was gonna ask about that. You guys had to be super confident on that name when you went and hit that buy now.
I think that the most passive aggressive way I can put this is it shows our confidence in the platform that we're putting forward. And having said that, we have already received offers on said domain that exceed what we paid for it.
Yeah, I imagine. As someone who has bought up a lot of real estate related domains, man, they're an investment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, Brian, tell us about when everyone's going to be able to get to use Access. We have just a minute or so left.
Yeah, I mean, as mentioned, if you go to access.com right now, you can actually sign up for a free beta. It's available as we speak. We are, and literally start creating things where you can go in and start sharing these things tomorrow with your clients, right?
Sweet.
So I like to show this a little bit just for the fact that it is to me, when I thought about doing this, I always thought about it on an iPad, even though it is, accessible across the different platforms like iPhone, iPad,
Yeah.
desktop.
Yeah.
But you can literally start making these and saving it tomorrow, utilizing the tool. And then we really are planning on going live with it at the beginning of February.
Okay.
And at that time, I mentioned we want to make this something that is affordable for every agent. So let's just say we're ballparking it around $50, and with the ability to add on various features as they come available.
Totally reasonable.
But we want to make sure that it's in the hands of all agents that are looking to improve themselves digitally, plain and simple.
Yeah, nice. Well, I remember seeing your booth at the recent Connect show, and I came by about 7 times to talk to you, and you were busy every time presenting. And I even had some of your guys like, "Tell Brian, I want to chat with him." But
They kept on saying some guy named Craig walked by. I'm like, Craig from Inman?
He's super obnoxious. He won't stop. But well, Brian, thanks again for taking the time to show everybody what you guys are up to. It's a very cool tool, and I hope a lot of people are going to start making some marketing decisions for 2022. So again, Brian Shorr of Agent Image with Access, thanks very much, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thanks, Craig. And, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach me directly, bshorr@agentimage.com. Craig, always a pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
Yep. You as well. Thank you. Have a good one.